de México y Latinoamérica. Mi nombre es Bea y hoy tengo el honor, de hecho me tiemblan un poco las manos, de entrevistar a una banda que para mí es de las más emblemáticas del movimiento goth y de la escena oscura en Estados Unidos, en Latinoamérica y en Europa. Estamos con The Wake. Hi guys,
hello,
thank you so much
hello.
for this interview. What about this period of the beginning of The Wake?
Well, Troy and I met in high school. I've never told this story before, but I'll give you it. I met him, he moved into Columbus, and he was at my high school, and I heard that he had a really nice guitar. So I said, hey man, can I come over and check out your guitar? And he did. He had a sweet Gibson guitar. It was way nicer than mine. And then that's how it started. He and I started playing together when we were in high school, as much as we could. But then as soon as we were out, we were hell-bent on putting a band together and doing stuff that we liked. And shortly thereafter, we met James at a Jesus and Mary Chain concert. Troy was putting up flyers and we were looking for a bass player. Right? And we saw James go and tear one off, and he went straight over and talked to him. And I think you were over maybe the next day, I'm not sure. And that clicked right away. We worked really well together. For a short while, we had a drummer who was using an electronic set, and it was really falling short of the sound that we wanted, or that we thought we wanted. And that's when we found Daniel. And yes, the second we all started playing together, that was it. We knew that was the sound that we wanted. That was the sound that we played last night.
How this process for you of making music? Because you haven't making a lot of albums. But I would say for us, like every song is iconic. So how is the process? How do you work all this sound that there's now a part of dark pop culture?
Well, I think that our process is that we don't rush anything. The whole reason that we create the music is really for us. We don't really keep in mind that we have to do music this way for a label or this way for the fans. At the end of the day, we do music that we like. And every song becomes a piece of crafted work that we go over and go over it again and go over it again. We never release anything before we feel that it's as close to done as we're gonna get, because to us, no song has ever really been finished. We just have to get to a point where we say, this is as good as we're going to get right now with it. And then we'll record it. And what was different about us is we spent a lot of time together as people. Rich and I worked a job together. Rich and Troy worked a job together. James and I worked a job together. So if we weren't making music, we were still together all day. It was almost like we were four brothers.
Why did you decide to come back on stage? And did you see the difference with the public, with production? How is this coming back from you on stage?
Well, I have to say that the real reason that we came back on stage is because Troy was ready to do it. He was burned out. And he was really one of the main reasons that the band stopped doing it. But the other reason too, I think, is if you think about when we were touring before, we didn't even have a cell phone. It didn't exist, right? There was no internet. There was nothing like that at all. So, we were mailing postcards and flyers and whatnot. But with the birth of the internet, we're very fortunate that our fan base, grew and stayed connected and wanted us to play, and were able to easily tell us that they wanted us to play. And I think that was one big motivation, because we saw a desire from people to see us. How was it coming back? It was great. It's a lot of work, but it was great.